We are very excited and grateful to have Jamila Vicki Davies with us today. Jamila is practiced in the art of healing as a Sufi Master Teacher in the Shadhuliyya Sufi tradition, and has taught hundreds of people the art of opening to the deep love within as a teacher in the Vedic tradition for over 30 years before becoming a Sufi. Her love of writing began more than 40 years ago, and in her master's practicum in spiritual ministry, she developed this tool of self-discovery and self-reflection into a program called Writing from the Heart, a program of writing that helps people open more deeply to their own intrinsic wisdom, the essence of who they are. Her teaching today is Writing from the Heart. Jamila, welcome, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Abdullah. It's nice to hear my introduction read to me, because it just comes through so flawlessly. But when I'm reading, of course, I see all the things I need to change, but that's what writing is about. You're constantly assessing what you've written. So thank you. I'm glad to be here. I've really been looking forward to doing this program for many reasons. I've been doing Zoom writing classes, and I'm curious how it will work with 40 plus people. My classes are usually, if they're live, up to 20. If they're online, I try to keep it to 10. Because the part of this practice is the sharing of your heart with everybody else involved. And we'll talk about that a bit more. But I'm grateful that this practice came to me through my ministry and spiritual, my spiritual ministry class at the university. And it sort of came as a download. One afternoon, I was sitting in the car in the rain, and I was talking to Salima, who was my program guide. And I said, well, this just isn't working. This isn't working. And she goes, have you thought of writing together? And it was as if the heavens opened, and down came this download that this is how I could share the love and the wisdom that I've gained through the 40 years plus of writing with others as a tool for insight and self-knowledge. So I want to talk a little bit about the technique. There's two aspects of it. I use a technique called writing without stopping. That is a program that Natalie Goldberg produced in her book, Writing Down the Bones. And when she introduced this, it changed the way writing was taught in this country. So it's a very powerful tool for getting us out of our heads, for one, and into our hearts, getting us to bypass the mind's wanting to control the outcome of everything we do, and allowing ourselves to let the heart have more of a say in the process. So using this tool, Writing Without Stopping, we couple it with what we know to be the most divine access to in our hearts, which is remembrance. And we use remembrance to open our hearts to that divine storehouse of love and energy and beauty within. So the combination of the two helps people have insights and understandings that would have taken them maybe years to gain just through ordinary writing, journaling. So I know from my years of journaling that for years it was a tool to sort of help me figure out what I was feeling, because 9 times out of 10, I had no idea. And so it really was a tool of self-discovery for me. And then when I began to pair it with prayer or with remembrance, I discovered that that was the secret key to getting deep inside my heart and really having that conversation that we all long to have, which is with that deepest essence of ourselves. I'm going to read a quote from someone here that I think is somewhat telling. If I can find it, I know I had it earlier. It's by Ira Progoff. Ira Progoff is, he used to teach, I think he might still teach, intensive journal writing workshops. And I took his workshops years back when I still lived in Oregon. But in one of his quotes, he says, both prayer and writing invite us to explore the full range of human awareness. out to the edges of what we have experienced and beyond, and out to the edges of what we can intuit and beyond. Both invite us to imagine, to be brave in what we imagine, and to keep the doors of all our imaginings open, allowing writing and prayer to overlap. Writing as a spiritual practice invites a dynamic relationship with mystery. So that's what this practice does. It elicits that dynamic relationship. So what we do, first of all, we put our pens down. And I'm going to describe the steps, and then we'll do them. So the first step is we put our pens down, and then we drop into our hearts. I'm going to say a Fatiha just before we do that, but we drop into our hearts and begin with the remembrance of the name of Allah. And we sit in that silence, repeating his name until I say begin. And when I say begin, you'll start writing, and you'll write using that technique of writing without stopping, which says, do not try, edit, keep the hand moving. Don't worry about spelling, punctuation, etc. Lose control. Don't think, don't get logical. Go for the juggler. That's really important. If something comes up in your writing that's scary or naked, jump right in. It usually has a huge amount of power. And the last thing is, if you find as you're writing along in this harried way, it may seem harried if you haven't done it before, you find yourself writing along and all of a sudden you have no idea what the next word is. That's because the mind is trying to get in control of the process. So what you do to thwart that is you write the last word you just wrote over and over and over again until the mind surrenders and gives up control. I actually have had people write almost entire pages of the in the workshop, just because the mind insisted that it wanted to run the show. So you know that your tool for that is to just repeat the last word again and again. All right, so then I say stop, or so I'm going to set the clock and I'm going to time us for a certain number of minutes. Initially, it'll be very few minutes just so we get the hang of it. And then a little bit more as we go on. But within a 60-minute window, we only have time for maybe 2, maybe 3 writings. And so I'm going to keep the sessions short. So I'll say we're going to write for 3 minutes, and then you'll write and you'll just keep writing. And when I say stop, you stop and you take a look at what you've written. And then we take turns sharing. And with 40 some people on the call, not everybody is going to be able to share. So some of you may not want to share, that's fine. But some of you may want to watch how it works first before you share. So just raise your hand if you want to read. I'll read first, just so you know that it's not prose we're talking about here. It's words, just words on a page. All right, and then we'll take turns sharing. And you don't have to share it, but of course, in this case, you can't all share. But the value of sharing is often in the workshops. Those are the most powerful moments when people hear their own voice in what someone else has written, when they see their own fear or concerns coming up in another beloved's heart, or when they see their desire for fulfillment expressed by another beloved in almost the same words. Well, you'll see if we get through this comfortably that there's a theme to our writing. There's always a theme. In every workshop, there's a theme. And as we write and read, that theme will manifest. And we'll see what it is that links us all together and what's in our hearts as a community, as a group of holy beloveds gathered. Alhamdulillah. Are there any questions? I see some chats here.
Let me take a look. Okay, they must be direct to you because I'm not seeing anything in the chat box.
Okay, so they are direct to me.
If anybody does have a question right now, just unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah. Any questions, just Yeah, unmute yourself.
When did you say we start writing again?
We'll go into remembrance
Yeah.
first, and then I'll say begin.
Okay.
And I'll say we're going to write for
Yeah, got it.
3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Okay. And then when I ding the bell or when I say stop, you stop, and then you read a little bit to yourself just so you know you can make sense of the words that are on the page. That doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. And then you begin. We'll share. Okay. So if everybody's ready, let's begin. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim. Ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. All right, so just sit comfortably, close your eyes, and we'll begin with remembrance, saying the name of Allah to yourself in the silence of your own heart. Okay, begin. And we'll write for 3 minutes. Okay, stop now. That may not have been exactly 3 minutes, but it was close. So take a minute to just look at what you've written, and then we'll take turns sharing for 2 minutes. So Sufi Center would like to share. Would you like me to read first just to get the ball rolling?
Yes, please.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Like I said, this is just to show you it's not, we're not novelists here. We're friends talking. Begin, oh my papa, writing this with this holy group of hearts. As soon as I closed my eyes, I fell into a deep well. I've been wondering all day what the words would be, what words would come into my heart soul circuit to write. Gratitude, feeling joy at the chance to share. Allahu Akbar. That's me. So Abdullah, you wanted to read next.
Actually, Layla Brady Walzer is next up. So
Okay.
Layla, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yep.
And see here.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, so the situation is that our power has been out and our heat has been off. And so anyway, I wrote, what, so cold, so cold, so cold, shivering dog, shivering, shivering like the ice breaking off the branches, just like when the electrons dance up and down, appearing and disappearing, so too the branches shake, shaking off, shattering off their current manifestation and becoming something new.
I hope the heat comes on soon, beloved.
It did actually come on a little while ago.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Beautiful. Who's next?
Okay, so next is Aisha JM. You're next if you want to unmute yourself.
I wrote, Alhamdulillah. I hummed for a time as I said Allah, as Salim suggested. I felt the energy surging through my head and hands. I hope it does do some healing with my vocal cords. God is a healer, and if I put persistence, love, and repetition, maybe it will. This is interesting, a different way to journal. No thinking, just taking action. I do need to take action as I procrastinate.
Alhamdulillah. That's beautiful. Next time you write, have your throat speak.
My throat speak. Thank you.
Yeah. Hear what it has to say to you. Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, next is Mariam Hand. Mariam, if you want to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, alhamdulillah. I have women, long lines of women breastfeeding precious babies who cry and and are abandoned, imposed by the doctors who know impose their way, not wise, but ways. The women know better, but they succumb to the men who know the way that women must raise their most precious love. And the women want to protect their pure, beloved children.
Are you talking about a particular place?
What's that?
Was this in reference to some particular place?
It's more just stuff that I've been working with in lineage stuff and deep mistrust that the Dr. Spock era of being stuck in a crib.
Right. Alhamdulillah, sister. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. Next is Kabir Freddy. If you want to unmute yourself and go ahead, Kabir.
Okay. The motor kept running and it started to rain cats and dogs. The dogs ran away. The cats went in the house. They gathered by the hearth where it was nice and warm. One dog returned and started barking by the door, but there was nobody there to let them in because there were only cats in the house.
That's great. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for sharing. There were only cats in the house. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you, Kabir. Next up is Amina Terry. If you want to unmute yourself, please.
So we can have maybe one or two more, and then we should go on to the writing again.
Okay, thank you. Allah, are you there? I smile. I am always here. Do not fear my presence, dear one. I am at the heart of all actions, all thoughts, all words, all deeds. I am at the heart of everything. Your wishes are mine for you. You cannot make a mistake, but I feel that I've made many mistakes. Those are learnings.
The last words you said were those are learning.
Learnings.
Yeah, yeah. Alhamdulillah, sister. There's it feels like there's a place in your heart that's really aching and would love to have some comfort and care. So just open to that when we write, open to that comfort that you're seeking, okay? Just let it into your heart
Yes.
in whatever way you can. Rahim,
Rahim is our last sharer. Rahim, unmute yourself, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
alaikum
A
salam.
boy looks up from reading the newspaper as he hears a noise. It is coming from the apartment above his. There's kind of a thud on the floor.
Mm.
It is not unusual to hear the people above you walking or talking or doing something unknown.
Is this a story that's going somewhere, Rahim?
Probably.
Sounds like it. That's great. That's great. All right, thank you. All right, so we'll begin again with remembrance. And you'll watch as you write, you'll see the change that starts taking place in how the words come through. Well, never mind. Ignore that last comment. You'll see. We'll do it, and then you'll see. All right, so again, close the eyes and drop in. And always when you stop to do remembrance, put your pen down, because holding on to the pen is like trying to hold on to control. And you want to let it go to whatever extent you can. Allah, drop inside. Okay, so let's begin. And this time we'll write for 5 minutes. Okay, stop. I'm having trouble getting my phone to coordinate. It was probably a bit more than 5 minutes, but take a few moments with your writing and read it. And then we'll go from there.
So we have a couple hands raised. Jamila, did you want to share?
So go ahead, yeah. If let me have other people read.
Okay,
This time I'll read later.
okay, great. Salam, you're up. If you want to unmute yourself, please.
Alhamdulillah. Empty. My heart is empty. A vast open space. No shores. Like an ocean. Waves rise and fall. Rise and fall. In an unending rhythm. Nothing to see. Only the experience of rising and falling. Over and over without end. Where is it going? Leading. Only Allah knows. I have no clue. No clue. No clue. No clue. Rise and fall. Rise and fall. An unending rhythm within my being. Just observe, watch. What do I notice? A rhythm, a beating, a quiet song filling the space, gradually getting louder and filling the whole space. No color, only sound. A song is being born within me.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. I could feel the rising and the falling as you read it. It was like, and it wasn't even breath, it was the other, but oh, it's beautiful.
And it's kind of interesting there at the end because I love to sing. And Allah has sent many songs and zikrs through me. But alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
Thank you, Salam. Mahaba, you're next. If you want to unmute yourself, please.
The darkness pierces her within, all around, reverberations of being back in the womb. But she knows she's not dead. She can feel her body. She pinches herself. Yup, I'm still here. Where? A voice asks her. Who are you? Who are you? The voice asks her back. Stop playing games. Stop. For a moment, I'm choking with fear, but then the womb's comforting touch. Am I in the womb? Why a womb? Where am I? I can't see anything, but in this darkness, strangely, I feel held and embraced. Embraced. The voice asks me again, who are you? I don't answer verbally, but in my mind, I respond saying, I don't know. I've been trying to discover this answer all my life. The voice laughs. It is the most vibrant, delightful laughter I've ever heard. The voice is very near to me. I can feel it breathing inside me. Ah, my child, now you'll know. Welcome home.
My God. Welcome home indeed. Gorgeous. I have to ask, was that an actual experience or something that you put together from various experiences?
It just came right now. I just felt that
Beautiful, beautiful. No,
Yeah, I
very-
was really
yeah.
surprised. Actually, I did it because I was a little skeptical about the effects of the remembrance working on the writing. So
Yeah.
it just came from that space.
Alhamdulillah. That's great. That was beautiful. How it came so full and I mean, you fleshed it out so beautifully. So it was really well done. Thank you. I could feel it. That's what was beautiful about it. Alhamdulillah, as well. And that was okay.
Aisha, you're next. If you will unmute yourself, please.
Well, it's not as easy this time as it was last time. I wrote right from the throat. That's kind of scary. I've done screams from the throat. I'm writing from the mind right now. Throat, what do you want me to say? Or throat, what do you say? I say you have held your best back long enough.
Mm.
I say you have something to say, things that need to be heard. You want to scream, but the scream is really the action you want to take. You've held so much back, not letting out things you believed in, things you've known for a long time. Denise is right. You've been ahead of your time in many things. You did well with what you knew. However, you know you haven't done all you can, want, and know. It's time to let yourself go. Let yourself go with God. And let yourself go with the intelligence you have. It's nothing to hide. You have a folder called My Book. Take some time and look at it. Don't analyze it. Look at it this time with your heart, not your head. Let it go. Go with a breeze. I started to think. Let it, let it, let it, let it, let it, let it.
What's that
Let
word?
it. Let it, L-E-T, let it.
Let it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let it what? Let it be. Let it happen. Listen to Allah and that's right.
Oh, so gorgeous. You notice how
Thank
when you
you.
started to read that, you almost cried. You were on the verge of tears. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that happens when we read aloud, particularly when there's other people, when you know that there's other people who care about what you have to say, and you're saying something very intimate or very deep. Often we don't realize when we're writing that what we're writing is packed with emotion until we start to read it. And then it's the reading of it that the emotion gets expressed. That happens all the time. And it's a really good way to get in touch with what it is that's moving most deeply in you, is to allow that emotion to bubble up when you speak out the writing. So thank you. That's great. I love what your voice had to say.
Thank you. God bless you. I would have never dreamed it would have been that.
That's right. Okay, so Kabir, are you there?
Yes. So the last line was, there were only cats in the house. After a while, the dog got tired of it and went back into the woods where the other dogs were. He rounded them up, all of them, and said, "The cats are there, and it is warm. Warm there because I saw smoke coming out of the chimney. We are here, and here it is cold. So what are we going to do? We rain down coming out of the heavens, but we need warmth too. What do you think?" All the dogs barked in unison. "Yes, you are right. Let's go to the house." Meanwhile, the cats had fallen asleep. Remember, it was very cozy and warm inside, and there was nothing to do other than sit, languish by the fire. They all had fallen asleep except one. The dogs were on their way back, moving, meaning all of them. More dogs from the neighborhood, hearing the barking, ran out of their houses sneaked through the door and the windows and started following the pack, barking galore the entire neighborhood. That was the end of
And
it.
that was it. We're going to have to keep hearing the rest of this story to find out what happens. That's great. I love your imagination. It's beautiful. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much.
Amina.
Amina Melody. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Hi. How are
Thank you for doing this, Jamila. Alhamdulillah.
That's such
And
a-
I just wanted to say, as I got what you were saying about the difference, the first time I wrote, it was like coming out in sentences. And the second time I wrote, it was just more like a flow of words. It really shifted. I got
Yeah.
that. Alhamdulillah. And so the first time I was writing about something that I missed. And then the second time I started, what I really miss is myself, the sacred space to relax, open, receive, and then to explore, to create, to play. When did life become so much about what needs to be done today? Taking care of dad, taking care of my dog. I love being with John. Routine, chores. Can I come out to play now? Allah, I want to play with you, to feel the sun in my face, to breathe in the fragrance of flowers, to read poetry and write words, not just recording observation and fact, but building, creating, knocking down word towers and rebuilding them. Having fun, playing, and friends to play with. Hey, come out and play with me. So many of my friends are overwhelmingly sick. I pray and pray, so many hard things in the world. Sometimes I feel just so tired. Sometimes I want to lie down in the grass and sleep in the sun like the deer bedded down in my yard.
Oh, God, that sounds perfect. That's funny because I wrote about all the things that my writing was about starting this and then start and then start. So mine was a repetition of the very same thing. When do I get to go lie in the grass?
Maybe it just
Yeah,
has
you
to do with the coming to the end of a long winter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Need some spring sunshine and
Yeah. Time. It's time.
yeah.
Thank you, beloved.
Rivka, you're up. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I didn't think I was going to share at all, but then I found myself wanting to. So,
oh, courageous! Good for you.
I am your arthritis. I am your pain. I'm taking over your body, and you can't stop me. Ha ha ha.
Mm.
Don't you wish you had obeyed so you wouldn't have had to feel all this pain? Ha ha ha. You deserve this and more. No, I didn't do anything wrong. I did the best I could. But you always wanted more and more and more from me. Why couldn't you just love me as I am? Why couldn't you love yourself as you were? I have been your reflection, and I am you, and you are me. Why do you need me to carry this pain for you? I love you, and sometimes I hate you for rejecting me and not standing up for yourself. So I would have to stand up for you to him. And then I would get blasted with his anger instead of you.
Mm, mm. Oh, beloved. That's a strong conversation that you're having. I suggest after we finish that you go back to that writing and name the different voices. Who is talking to whom, or however that is said.
Yes,
Name the voices. Yeah.
Yes, I know who's talking to.
Yeah, but I want you to put names on them so that you can recognize when it shifts to the other or to something other. Do you see what I'm saying? Because there was a moment there where a voice of love and beauty came in.
Right.
It got skipped. So I want you to go through it and take a look, okay?
Yes, I will.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, Rivka. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Rivka. Rhyme, you're next if you unmute yourself, please?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
It's Reem.
Oh, sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
Astaghfirullah.
It's the long name. Allah comes to me. Allah guides me. I surrender to Allah's will. Kisara Sara. I love letting go and not deciding for anything. Being now, being today, being here is all that matters. My heart overflows with love and abundance. I have no intentions of guiding or showing the way to anyone except to those who suffer or ache. I serve now. I am Allah's tool. May our souls feel the unity in our hearts. May we surrender to what we are called to give, say, and do. Freedom is our salvation. Salvation is our sea of possibilities. Possibilities are the drops of the ocean.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. You can feel the unity that's coming through in what you're writing. And it feels as if it links to what several other people have been striving for in their writing. And that you seems as though you have articulated that particular longing that's kind of the subtle undercurrent of this group. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamila.
So let's take two more and then we need to stop because we have to one right once more. Okay.
Okay, Sarah Shelton, man, you're up if you want to unmute yourself, please.
Yes, hi. Messy writing, and after listening to that, okay, here goes. I sit by the river and watch the logs float by, thinking of how the ocean is the call of everything. The drifts, the birds, the life, the death, and the love. A small child, I think, toddles to the edge of the water, and my pen runs out of ink. I watch the sweet breath of the hummingbird in the tree and the smile of that tiny child. Innocence is a virtue until it is not. Till it is broken by the smell of the puke and the alleyway and the alley down on the other side of town and the tearing of the paws from broken glass. Then the first anger arises and the reason for regret appears. Life is what it is till you walk the other path, the one that no one mentioned, the path your parents missed, the path that the river covered in the spring, logs like cadavers along the dry bank of the river, forlorn and muddy brown. It's not my favorite color. The smell of slurping whirlpool and maggots rotating in spirals as the drowning occurs. The young child is floating down the river, curly blonde hair and pink cheeks, and it is a doll. It is easy to mistake a mirage for the truth.
Oh, my goodness, that was an powerful walk down the alley of darkness. I mean, it was really powerful, beloved. Are you a writer on a regular basis?
I journal.
Yeah, it shows up in your writing, very strong. So it was like you were telling a story, but then you said it was a doll. I was grateful for that because the other would have been too hard.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. Keep up the writing and really allow yourself to begin with remembrance when you start so that you open that other door first. And then you can
done that.
out.
Thank you so much. What a blessing.
Yeah. Okay. Alhamdulillah.
Sarah, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Jamila. This is so much fun. So two quick things before I start. One is that I just found words flowing in that were not even English. A couple of them I don't even know the meanings of and I had to go and look up. And I mean, they're from my native language or not. Actually, one of them is not from my native language. That's why I don't know what it is. Funny, then there was also like, there's a B with a BY, which I had to cross out and make it a BE. Or, I mean, there's difference. There's a who with a, like, who said that, and a HU. So I just want to call
Interesting. Well, so you're marrying the different languages and the different.
Yeah.
So go ahead, read what you put together out of all of those descriptions.
Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya tremor, 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 clamor, hammer, jammer, amarug, B salam, walam, kalam, malam, mat, fat, hat, chat, gut, mat, leave me alone, which means don't leave me alone. Malone, alone, Malone, 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 Malone. Songs of love and laughter, always and hereafter. Sailing life hereafter. Belongs to, belongs to, belongs to, belongs to, belongs to the crafter. But who is the magic word? Setting slow and gently like golden curd. Churning the heart and seasons and winds, ocean currents, and Allah, 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 wind, 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 rind posh, rind posh, rind posh, pinned posh, posh, rind posh, grind posh, hosh, chamosh, which is silence, gosh, babu gosh, losh, wosh, josh. Kins, Allah, Allah, Allah.
And that's as close to poetry as I've heard lately, beloved. And when you were reading the who, it's really clear who the who is. But that's just really beautiful how you wove all those words together. Some are made up words, it sounds like, or maybe they're foreign words. I have no idea, but it's just really well done. I would recommend, if you want, play with it some more, turn it into a poem, make it, well, it is a poem, just play with it some more.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so there's some questions in the chat. I don't know if they're questions that need to be answered. I don't know. You know, I'm looking at the time. Oops. I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, there are questions that need to be answered. You should see what they are. Abdullah, tell her.
Abdullah, tell her. So
what are the questions that need to be answered?
No, they're asking for more.
They want more.
Yeah. So people would like to engage and I think spend more time, with you, and they're asking if you could consider doing something that would be a little broader.
Well, then I just happen to have something getting started, as a matter of fact. I'm going to start a writing series in February, and actually I'm starting it on 2/22/22. I thought that was propitious. And it's going to be a 10-week series. And there's a sliding scale for participation. And if you're interested, Abdullah, you have my email. Could you put it in the chat? People could take that, or maybe they already have it. I don't know. You can email me and I will send you the flyer announcing this new writing series and when it begins. And we will see when it begins. Alhamdulillah. I was really hoping we'd get one more round of writing in, but there's been too much good reading. It's just been amazing to hear the level of heart opening that has happened in this very short window, and how many people are speaking with a really authentic voice of a deep connection. And so I don't know if there's anything else.
Jamila.
Yeah.
Jamila, I would like to recommend that you post your announcement on Beloved Beloveds so that we can share it with everybody.
Okay. I'll be happy to.
Lily put it out there.
All right.
And Jamila, if you
Well-
want to send it to me, I will add it on to the recording that goes out later, in a day or so.
All right. All right. I'll send it to you. Thank you.
Your
Well,
fans are clamoring.
Well, I am so happy that they are. It is one of my greatest pleasures. I've been writing for 40 years or better. And when it finally dawned on me that I could couple something that I loved so deeply with the process of healing and helping others, it was like somebody stepped into my life and that I hadn't known was there. You know what I mean? So I'm just very grateful. And I hope everybody loves it. And if anybody has any questions, call me. Oh, don't call me. Write to me. Please write to me. Don't call me. And have a very blessed evening and stay on for the vicar if you can.